friends, we're gonna get started in just a bit. Come on in, say what's up. We're gonna get started in about 5 minutes. Hello, hello, come on in, say what's up. I wanna see your comments come on top. Hey y'all! There's Mike Alton, let's move this around. There you are! Hey everyone, we're gonna get started soon. We have a Facebook user, love the new countdown, Stephanie, yeah! I love it too, I'm having fun with it. Shout out to Doc Boyd, who helped me put this together. I love whoever said let's dance. Let's do it, yeah? Let me turn it up. Happy here. You guys coming in? Today we're going to be talking about live video producer and everything that goes along with it, because it's something that's really in demand right now. So I definitely want you to come on in and hang out. Oh, that was Tim. Hi, Tim. 2 more minutes. Come through. Start posting your questions, all of that good stuff. Let me know where you're hanging out from. You should follow Jim. Jim is pretty awesome and he's amazing. And so is my wonderful girl, Yvonne Hyman. What? Love you, love you, love you. Sue Ann is asking, Stephanie, what is on the agenda today? Today we're going to talk about live video producer and why companies are hiring them. So if you want to be here for this fun, come on in and hang out. You've got 2 more minutes. So find your friends, come through, say what's up. We're going to open the curtain. We're going to talk about everything that's related to live video production, how to get started, pricing your services, everything that every single question that people have been blowing me up for the past couple of weeks. Ever since I think since Midwest Digital Marketing Conference. But let's do this. All right, cool. We've got Jim from Marietta, Georgia. Woohoo! Oh, we got Ghana in the house. Festus, thank you so much. You think you're the first person that I've ever had from Ghana. I think the farthest I've ever had was someone in Guam, in Vietnam. One minute countdown. Let's do this. Woo! If you got other tabs open, then definitely start closing them. Come here, come hang out, because I don't get to see you very often and I don't really get to talk to you very much. So this is a great time. Tracy, Canada. I love the Canada crew. Eileen Smith. Oh, YouTube right there. Carla. All right, 10 seconds. Pennsylvania. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, friends, what's up? And welcome to another episode of Lights, Camera, Live. For those of you that are just tuning in, today we are talking about live video producer and why companies are hiring live streamers because it is something that most of us content creators had first imagined as, okay, I'm doing this for fun. I just like helping people. And now we're finding that organizations, nonprofits, even C-level executives are now hiring live streamers to help them with their live video production when it comes to going online and building those relationships. So today we're going to talk about this topic of mine, which I am so excited about. This is also an AMA. Ask me anything about live video production because I'd be more than happy to answer any of them. And so while you are here, let me go ahead and minimize the screen. Let's go ahead and put some comments up on here. Marissa Callie's in the house. Marissa, let's put your comment over here. Ooh, yes. Shout out to the girl Marissa Callie because she is now also helping out live stream producers with the Restream team. So she's got like a lot of cool things that are happening. And this is what I really wanted to tell you guys is that this is not a fad. This is not something where it's like, oh, live streaming, it's just a thing. Don't really pay attention to it. It's now becoming a high in demand career. And I want to talk to you about it because I think it's going to be something that you would really, really enjoy. But first off, I want to give a shout out to the good friend, the wonderful Doc Rock. So Doc has been absolutely amazing. He was the one that actually helped me put together that fabulous intro. If you've seen other people doing countdown timers with like the circles, he hit me up. He's like, Stephanie, let's do something different. And so he put that together. There are those of you who were with me yesterday on my personal Facebook page that was asking me how I did that. There will be a tutorial coming up for you for that as well. So do not worry. All right. So before we get started, I also wanted to let you know that this giveaway just ended. What? Yes, it's the Elgato HD60S Plus. So we ran the giveaway for about maybe like a week or two, and we do have a winner, so stay tuned because I'm going to tell you who won. And it was absolutely amazing. So I get to ship this out later today, and you also want to stay tuned because I've got something else. What is this? It is the Camlink 4K, also by Elgato. So I've got one of these to also give away. I'll give you more details on how that is going to run. So let's see, the comments are coming through. Love it, love it, love it. Again, shout out to the girl Marissa Callie who says, Commissioner of StreamYard Producers Programs. Happy to be here, Stephanie. Yeah, girl, Callie. Marissa is the best. She is from the same area as I am. Shout out to this viewer. I've been using your tips with Messenger strategy, and I always have 30 plus people showing up. 2 weeks ago, I had a guest, and we went over an hour and had over 70 plus the entire time. Woo! That's absolutely amazing. If you guys are curious on what that topic was about, go to lightscameralive.com. Look for the blog recap, the episode that I did with the wonderful, the amazing Kelly Noble Mirabella. She is fabulous. She is like homegirl for life. She has the best chatbot marketing strategies, and she is definitely someone that you will want to talk to. Great. So let's see. All right, cool. Now let's go ahead and move on to what we're going to talk about today. So let me go ahead and move this here. Woo! All right, let's talk about live video production. Now, this is something that has been so dear to my heart because as a live streamer, as a content creator, when I first started, I always viewed myself as a marketer, right? I do paid media, I do social media. I didn't really view myself as a content creator or even like a YouTuber, right? That's like Owen and Sean and Roberto, like that's where they hang out. And what was really interesting is that when I first started my live streaming journey is that it opened up so many doors. Opportunities to speak on stage, opportunities to help women build their confidence and showing up on camera so that they could be their true whole selves, to embrace who they are and really just step into the spotlight. I'm also really excited because live streaming had really helped out with, Mike is here. And we just got off like Amanda, Jen Herman and Mike Alton and myself and Eric Buto, we got off our phone call for the Entrepreneur Press because our book, The Ultimate Social Media Strategy by Entrepreneur Press, is going to be coming out next month. And so that's been exciting. And that's why I'm so passionate, so excited about live streaming, because it could do so much for you. Shout out to Mike. He's like, you're an author now too. I know. That's crazy. That's like bananas. I'm going to put you over there, Mike. All right. So what was really interesting is that after I started live streaming, people were asking, well, Stephanie, can you teach me how to launch a show? And that became its own course, the Lights, Camera, Live Masterclass, my signature coaching program. And that was amazing. Fantastic, because now I see, Kendra, Mary Fane Brandt doing amazing things with their shows. And even my girl, Yvonne Hyman, who's here, she's like, man, I started live streaming and now I'm getting like these high caliber guests on my show. And I was like, yes, isn't that absolutely amazing? Because here's the thing. Most people don't really realize how powerful live video is as far as creating connections. And as my good friend Luria Petrucci always says, it's not about perfection, it's about connection. And when you are able to have you amazing, wonderful people here show up, then it makes it so much more fun. It gives you, your personal brand, your company, the opportunity to build rapport with your audience and let them in and know what it is exactly that you're working on, what you stand for, and all of that amazing stuff. So how did this actually roll over into live video production? Well, the very first one was doing it for the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference. And they wanted to sell tickets to their conference. And we were trying to brainstorm all these different ways. How do we get people excited about it? And that's when we realized, hey, people are excited about this because you have some of the world's best speakers about, like LinkedIn, AJ Wilcox. Oh my gosh, you get an air horn. Right? You had Yvonne Hyman, who was talking about business system efficiency. Even my boy, Mike Alton, was talking about blogging. And if you tried to go into the room, if you did not have a fast pass, you were not getting in. Because as soon as you opened the door, someone fell out. Like, that's how insane it was. And so we did this live streaming series where we would have speakers come onto the show. We would leverage that for Facebook retargeting. We say, hey, you watch the show, then obviously you're going to want to dive into the early bird tickets. And so that was like my first waltz down a live video production. And ever since then, it's just kind of taken off. I've done things for churches. I've done things for annual shareholder meetings. In fact, let me go ahead and bring this up for you real quick. It's also helped my friends like Kimberly Flowers, who is on the Leap into Live Streaming Summit. Like, she does this for entrepreneurs that are struggling to build their personal brand. Like, she has this whole system where she will do your on-air graphics. She will help you produce your show, and you really don't have to do anything. You just sit in front of the camera, make sure that you have a secure internet connection. She'll help you with your lighting, all of that amazing stuff, and it's just so brilliant. This is a thing, and I want you to realize that, because most people, now is the time to realize how your skills how you're excelling in one area can be leveraged in another vertical. In fact, a shout out to the good friend Mike Alton, who you guys already know I've been giving a good shout out to. He's been using his experience from Lights, Camera, Live and producing, gosh, Mike, I don't even know how many shows are you producing right now? I think you're producing 4 different shows. So it's absolutely amazing. And now even when he does Zoom meetings, this is how it shows up. So it's like Inception right now, because it's like the same setup as mine, but it goes to show you how live streaming is changing. And I think that's really important, because what I see in the industry, right, having gone to conferences, we're like, hey, we're going to this conference, it'll also be live streamed as well. Whenever I would watch those live streams, it was simple. It was 4 people at a panel, and then you have 1 camera. There wasn't any on-air graphics. There wasn't any fan engagement, any of that stuff. And that's where live streamers and marketers can take all of that experience and deliver something new, something that's amazing. And I want you to start thinking about that, okay? All right, so let's talk about, if you have questions too, go ahead and drop them in. Let's see here. Let's talk about opportunities for live streamers. Live video production. So there are personal brands, like I said, like Kimberly Flowers, that are doing this for other brands, like even Marissa Callie. I see you doing like the trivia nights, all of that stuff. Tim Sohn is doing this for brands. I even saw one of my good friends doing a product launch for an entrepreneur that is launching a course, launching a retreat, all of that good stuff. There are so many things that you can do with your live streaming skills. And I want you to like crack open that head and be like, think about this, right? So opportunities, there's live streamers, there's product launches, there is C-suite level executives. Again, I work with a fabulous PR team for one of my clients, and they do a fantastic job in getting our client on big national news. And that's an opportunity for you as a live streamer, even if you're a social media marketer, to know the aspects of live streaming, because then you could sit down with your client and say, let's talk about your audio, your video, all of that good stuff. This is your opportunity to say, let me come over and social distance at the same time. Let me come over and show you how to set things up. Let me show you how to push a button on your Stream Deck. That way you always look and sound fly, right? I want to give a shout out to this wonderful person says, your transitions are so smooth. I want to learn how to do that better when I go live. Yes, and that is a Stream Deck. Also by Elgato. Elgato, I love you. Yes, so if you want to go to YouTube and just search for Stream Deck and Stephanie Liu, then I'll walk you through that step by step. Okay, so we talked about C-level executives. Other things where I'm seeing opportunities for this, right, is investor meetings. You have your annual shareholder meetings, and you don't want it to be another Zoom doom, right? Make it interesting. Do your countdown timers, do your overlays, have your CEO, CMO, all of your C-suite level executives go live and present slides at the same time. That way it's absolutely dynamic. To the viewer that right now that just said, your transitions are so smooth, that's how you keep your shareholders engaged and interested, so they want to ask you questions. Other areas that I see this happening, and this was actually very, very recent, is charity fundraising. This is why it's so interesting, is that charity fundraisers, they're used to just saying like, here's a landing page, here's my video, let's just stream the event, and then there's all this bottom stuff, like hosting committee and all that. I've been talking a lot about this in the social media strategist group, and that's where I'm like, you take in those Twitch streamers where they know how to do donations, the super chats and all that stuff, and then you can have a much more dynamic fundraising event. So in my mind, where I'm seeing this is I'm seeing a shift. I'm seeing how the marketers, like your Kellys, your Kelly Noble Mirabellas, your paid media folks like Amanda Robinson, who does Facebook ads and blogging and repurpose, like all of that, it's all converging with live video, and it's the sickest thing. I'm like, it's so cool, and it's such an opportunity. It's such an amazing opportunity. Shout out to Troy. He said he's going to share this with his group. Thank you, Troy. So wonderful to hear you. See that you're here. Let's see. Ariel says, to build off of Marissa's comment, do you think Netflix or Amazon Prime or other media networks will jump on live stream shows? That's a good question. Okay, I'm going to answer that now, because otherwise it might get lost in all of the comments. I've had people, Ariel, reach out and say, hey, we are a production crew and we know how to get your live streaming show on Roku, on Apple TV, and all of that stuff. And that's where I kind of see it happening. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't spend a lot of time on social media these days. There's certain destinations that I go to. There are certain shows that I will watch, right? And so I think when you start expanding your show, let's talk about this. Start expanding your show outside of Facebook, outside of YouTube, outside of LinkedIn, like my girl Yifat Cohen always says, like put it on your own domain. And if you didn't see the episode that I was with her, she did something really cool where she brought in her audience, her viewers, like you guys, via Zoom plus the guests, and it became like this whole interactive experience. It was like bananas. All right, cool. So charity fundraisers. My mind is just blowing with this, you guys. Like Ariel, one of the clients that I'm about to work on for a project, it's going to be at this really, really sick venue. And I was like, man, what if I had someone like Ariel do like a 360 interview, 360, walking tour of the place to take people in that experience. Not many of us are able to leave home. I'm still actually recovering from breaking my ankle, so I can't really go out very much. But if you could give me an immersive experience and you could show me Balboa Park, you could show me the beach, then that's amazing, right? That's going to be so much fun. All right, and then let's talk about award ceremonies. This is something that even my girl Amanda Nelson was just talking to me about. She's like, we're having an award ceremony. We want to do this. Again, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to work with live streamers, to work with live video producers, or just to even become one. Because again, what I'm seeing the difference is, and I'm like, this is like the longest rant I've ever had. I usually have like a guest. I'm like, oh, okay, we'll go back and forth. But what I'm seeing is that I see like these video production companies, and it's very basic on their website. It's like, you know what? Yeah, well, we could go ahead and stream. We could connect to a custom RTMP, and then that's it. What is missing usually is your event planners, like your Angela Kiesenbigs, who goes in and says, well, how do you keep the show running? How do you keep people engaged? So she knows how to make an in-person event so exciting. And then that's where your live streamer comes in, because then that's where it would come in for you. I'm like, okay, well, if you're passing the baton, passing the show from one speaker to another speaker for this award ceremonies, you have to have that whole same energy throughout the whole entire show. And that's what most people don't even think about, right? So it's interesting. Let's see, who's this? Someone says some really on agencies aren't offering virtual experiences for the audiences from museums to parks. They aren't offering virtual experiences. Yeah, I think that's a missed opportunity. You know, and if you are a museum, if you are a tourism authority, please, please, please follow my good friend Ariel Vieira, because he does some amazing things. He takes you on these 4-hour walking journeys on YouTube and on Facebook, and he immerses you in the culture and he immerses you in the history. And that's where I'm like, okay, brands, love your marketing department and all, but it's content creators, it's the storytellers that you need to, like, you know, bring into your live streaming production. And I love that you guys are like a part of this. And not only that though, but this beautiful, wonderful woman, Claudia Sandoval, right there. She is the queen of energy. She, you know, if I ever need a pick me up, no joke. There's this one time where I was feeling really, really down, called her up. Homegirl picked me up, took me across the border for some tacos. That is love. That is love. That is San Diego love. And I cannot wait to be with my girl again soon. All right. So we've talked about opportunities for you guys, right? Start expanding this. Start thinking about, are you a social media marketer? Do you know how to live stream? My God, please put this in your services, right? Tell people what it is that you do. Start asking those testimonials, right? That was last week's show. If you're not pulling that in, then that was last week's show, right? All right, cool. So shout out to Kelly Noble Maribel. She's like, loving the sound effects. Yes, you get those sound effects in Ecamm, and I'll show you that in a little bit if you just remind me about that, okay? Now let's go ahead and talk about, oh, this is going to be a good one. I'm going to wait for this to refresh for a second, but go ahead and shout out to Claudia. She said tacos solve everything. That's how you know that we're homies for life. Come on. All right, let's talk about the different levels of live video production, because I find myself in this conversation a lot when it comes to pricing out your services. And it's also something where I feel like people come to me and they think that I'm a scene switcher. No, I am I am not a scene switcher. Let me explain what that actually means. A scene switcher is someone that is just going into a Zoom meeting and making sure that this person is the spotlight. A scene switcher is someone that doesn't really have a say in the run of show. They're just there in the green room and they're saying, okay, this person's next, that person's next. If that's all that you do, if that's all that someone offers, if I was a company, I probably wouldn't spend that much. You know, I would know the platform myself. I would learn Restream, I would learn Ecamm, and then I would pull like an intern, or I would even pull like my niece or my nephew, and I'm like, if you're just gonna scene switch, dude, I already have it set up for you on a stream deck. I just need you to push this at this certain time. So if you are, if you're selling your services like that, you are selling yourself short, right? Shout out to Kelly Noble Marabella. She says, so now I will have sound effects in all my videos. Yes, you should. Yes, you should. All right. All right. Cool. Mike Alton is saying that he needed a scene switcher at the event last weekend. Yes, that is very true. He had a very interesting show. But let's go back to like, if that's scene switcher, if that's the bare bone basics of a scene switcher, then let's talk about a live video producer, right? And as I'm telling you this, I want you to start thinking of job descriptions, because even Yifa and I were thinking, hey, you know, we have leads coming in. We have to hire either a scene switcher, or I need someone else to be a producer to walk a client through all of these steps. So what does a producer do? A producer is someone that sits down with the client, brainstorms, and understands what the goal is that they're actually trying to achieve. Usually the producer, in my mind, the best way to describe it is you're going to walk them through the storyboard. How is this event going to take place? How's the show going to take place? Who are the key characters? Having a storyboard is going to be essential for knowing like what your graphics are going to be, when your transitions are going to happen, all of that amazing stuff. And usually for a producer, they have the tech rehearsals, all of that. And then once a show has actually ended, that's it. That's it. So then that's where the strategist comes in. And that's something that I've always tried to elevate in the social media strategist group, is that you could be a community manager, like glory, copy, paste, all of that stuff. But when you are a strategist, you are thinking all of the disciplines that are related with that specific live video, with that live stream, with that show. And before I go ahead and talk about that, let's go ahead and get this big shout out to the Restream crew. Our bridge to live streaming across all platforms has arrived. Restream takes care of the bandwidth and processing, so you can focus on getting maximum visibility on your favorite platforms. To learn more, head on over to restream.io. Yes. Okay. And so then that's something that I wanted to talk to you about, is because the strategist is seeing at like the bigger picture. And the strategist is usually the one that's helping you with the marketing plan. How do you get people to show up, you know, and be engaged before the show actually starts? How do you get them talking about it? How do you get them to be a part of the conversation? And that could be like your media toolkits, images that they could share, questions that they could submit beforehand. This is everything that we're doing for one of my clients that we're trying to do, right? And then even the show stuff, right? So the show stuff would be the producer things, but even the strategist is thinking, once the show has actually ended, okay, how are you repurposing that content? Where are you putting the paid media behind it? Where are there other opportunities? A strategist also, for someone that knows paid media, that knows Google Analytics, will give you a lot of great advice about where to host your live stream. Because if you want to retarget audiences, all of that stuff, there's so much that you could do. If you wanted to talk to like Kelly Noble Mirabella and she's saying like, let's do some chatbots for registrations, or, you know, if someone is donating for a charity fundraiser, she could have that on the landing page, but she has that thinking, that foresight to think of the whole entire process. And that's where I'm thinking, if you position yourself as a strategist, that's something that's completely different from the scene switcher, from the producer. You're a strategist, and I'm a strategist. And that's a differentiator, I would say, is because you're able to see what the video production team is doing, what the client is doing, and you still put on your marketer hat, and it becomes this amazing, wonderful, beautiful thing. I want to say transformer in my head, because that's what happens. Like, everyone has a seat at the table to create this amazing, wonderful experience. And I want to give a huge shout out to Christina Coretta, who was at my session at the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference last year, Christina? Last year. And I had led a session on remote live producer. That's what I was calling it then. I was calling it remote live video production. And she thought that she was just going in there to learn about just live streaming. But no, that whole 3 hours, I think it was 3 hours, Christina, we talked about how to set it up, how to test, how to price your services, how to position yourself. And now she does it for her company. And she even has this wonderful opportunity where her mom is a teacher and she's going to be teaching students online. So think about all of those Zoom meetings that are happening. How do you keep those kids engaged? How do you keep them interested, right? Instead of just being a postage stamp in a Zoom meeting, now you can make it more dynamic. You could add polls, you could add quizzes, like things to make it really, really fun. And a big shout out to my girl, Claudia Sandoval. This is going to be big. See, Agreed. Strategy is fundamental in ensuring that there is thought before pressing live. Strategy is also super important to have insight into what type of tone is necessary. Man. I love you, Claudia. All right, cool. So we've talked about the different levels, and I want to make that very, very clear. Because some people, even when they're pricing their services, they will say, well, I'm a strategist. So from beginning to end, you are going to get strategist pricing. And coming from an agency background, and Claudia knows this as well, is that when you're coming from the agency side, there's something that's called blended pricing. So there are different levels of pricing that you have. So a scene switcher is not going to have a higher hourly rate than the strategist, right? So having all of that, and when you put together your pricing, your services, that's what makes sense. Because then at least you could explain it to the client and say, okay, when you're having the discovery call is going to be you and the strategist. Whoever is creating the design assets, that's most likely not going to be the strategist. That's going to be the graphic designer. P.S. By the way, if you are not a designer, check out easel.com, EASIL.com. For those of you that are watching, please go ahead and put that in the comments for me, because Annette Mcdonald has been super duper instrumental for Lights Camera Live, for Leap into Live Streaming Bootcamp, for even people that took my master class on live streaming. She's been helping them with their graphics as well. So if you need someone to just give it that extra touch for your live stream, then do that. All right, cool. So we talked about blended pricing. Again, when the questions come up, let the questions come up. All right, cool. Let's move on to, let's talk about this. Ecamm Live. The reason why I bring up Ecamm Live is because it allows me to do this. It allows me to do so much as far as my graphics, my intros, my overlays, bringing in the comments, and it has a virtual camera that allows me to produce a show even outside of live streaming. This whole setup can go into Zoom. This whole setup can go into a Google Meet. This whole setup can go into remo.co. And I call that out specifically because your clients are not going to want a cookie cutter show. As you're producing these events, yes, please ask for testimonials. Yes, please do your case studies. And if you're doing the same look every single time, where's the creativity? That's the extra icing that you put on top as far as your pricing goes, because now you're adding in that extra level of creativity. Now, again, there are people who are live streaming that are the scene switchers, the producers, and the strategists, and you know where you are when you fall on that spectrum. And so when you are the strategist piece of it, it makes it so much more fun because you're learning about different fundraising platforms and charity stuff, and you know the different content creators that you could bring in. Because let me tell you, with these charity fundraising events, they're always asking, well, who is going to be that MC, that host that's going to bring the show from one to the other? And if they're not used to, your CMO is not used to holding that baton and keeping people engaged online and on camera, then that's where you want to bring in the content creators. All right, cool. So Marissa Callie is saying blended pricing is a great way to explain it. Yes. And that's something that you learn in agency life. Because even when you're developing social media retainers for clients, right, you have the community manager, the social media manager, and the strategist. And then you have the CEO who wants to be there sometimes. But everyone has a different billable hour. And so when you're putting together these retainers, then it makes a lot of sense. Kelly is saying, did Annette Mcdonald make this deck for you, or did you use Easel to do it yourself? I used Easel, but I will tell you that Annette has been absolutely amazing, Kelly, as far as guiding me through the look and feel. In fact, I'm also working on something where I want to produce an example for clients on how they could take their charity events to another level. Not just come to a landing page, be there, donate, and then bounce. No. I want them to be immersed into an experience, feel as if they have a front row seat to the event. And you know what I'm talking about because you were there when I was testing it out. All right, cool. So let's move on to the next thing. So Ecamm Live, if you guys want to give this a shot, go ahead and sign up for it. You get your discount code, all of that good stuff, and it's absolutely amazing. Like I said, it's not only just live streaming, but you could use the virtual camera into other platforms. Like I said, annual shareholder meetings, they would use something, like GoToMeeting and all that other stuff, and you could do something like this where it's a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more interesting. And for those of you that are watching, I actually use Restream these days because it allows me to show up in multiple destinations. And this is actually really helpful for you if you do want to go down the route of live video production for others. Because here's the thing. Even when you've like hit your donation goal, you as the strategist, you want to tell your client, well, this is how many live viewers that we had. This is the chat that was going on. And if you're streaming to multiple destinations, if you have like a VA, then it's very helpful. They could go in and they could pull those analytics for you, or Restream just freaking does it for you, right? Because then it'll tell me what was, oh, I wonder if I still have it up. Because if I have it up, then I could actually just show you the dashboard. Let me see, let me move this around real quick. Okay, I'm gonna switch the screen. So this is what's really cool, is that on the back end, you guys, you could see like the number of viewers, the average watch time, you could see the chat trends, all of that stuff. But here's the thing that I loved is that when you're looking at the followers, you could see like the followers from the different channels, but even the chat messages, like I could see over on this, on this side, is it on this one or is it chat trends? Chat trends, okay. Chat trends will tell me like the most popular phrases, the watched minutes, things that you could actually know is really resonating with your viewers. So in this case, I could say, okay, Mike Alton, he's left 17 minutes of watch time so far. So you could see where people are jumping in. Makes it pretty cool. All right. Shout out to Marie, who says the pro version of Ecamm is so worth it with the virtual camera option. Yes. And I think that's also helpful because when you're a strategist, it's nice to know the different platforms. It's nice to know what the mobile live streaming platforms do. Your Switcher Studios, your Cinemaker, your StreamYard, your Restream, your Ecamm, your BeLive, your OBS Studio, OBS Streamlabs, Slobs for short. It's helpful to know that whole entire landscape, because when you sit down with the client, you don't want to put guardrails on them or just like put them in a box and be like, no, we could only do it this way. When you're a strategist, you're looking for creative solutions. And again, that's what's going to help you as far as your pricing goes, right? Good. All right. Fun. And shout out to Roger Wakefield, who is here. So blessed to have you, my friend. He is absolutely amazing. Amy Iram has shown up as well. You guys. Love you. And so let's also talk about like different things to think about if you're going down the route of live video production. This is something that I've been playing around with, and it's called Showflow. And it's pretty much like your run of show on steroids, because you could do live updates. It turns into a teleprompter. Everyone can be on the same page, from like the audio, video, lighting crew, like everyone knows like what's happening. And you can make these different changes whenever you want to. And if you needed to hook it up to a teleprompter, then you have the script like all in one spot. So think about this, because charity season is just around the corner, quarterly shareholder meetings, all of that good stuff. It's a ton of fun. Something else that I've been geeking out over is something called Studio Binder. I am working on, it's a big fundraising event, and it has different local leaders. And so I needed to send them like a call sheet of like, I need you to show up to the green room at this time. Here are like the basics as far as how to show up on camera, how to fix your lighting, all of that good stuff, like even technical difficulties, but you have it in this nice, amazing tool that's out there. And the more professional that you are when you're doing these live video productions, the better it is. So I'm just gonna like throw that out there. Shout out to Claudia, who says that this is awesome because she knows, because prior to becoming the amazing Masterchef Claudia Sandoval, she was a project manager, production manager, and she worked with different crews. So this is going to be something that's going to be super duper helpful, right? What else is there for me to geek out with you guys? Visual branding elements. Yes, when you're working with your clients, give them a heads up of like what it is that you can do. Again, if you have a graphic designer that you could partner up with, do it. If you know how to do it yourself, awesome. But what I've learned in my career is that most successful people will focus on what their strengths are, and then they will hire out for the different hire out the different disciplines. So like if I'm not a copywriter, boom, it goes out to Joan Nafziger, right? If I'm not a designer, boom, Annette Mcdonald. That's what you do because you got to keep the show running and everyone's going to have different pricing based off of that blended pricing that we had talked about. Cool? All right. So now let's get to your questions. So if you have questions about live video production, how to get started, platforms to know, all of that good stuff, now is the time to ask me because I've dedicated this time for you. Ooh, yeah, this is a good one. Claudia says project management is a huge job that you can also charge for doing this. Yes, I love that you mentioned that because even in this pricing calculator that I built out for one of my clients, we had to factor in discovery call, what's the timeline for getting the graphics, how many rounds of revisions, like all of that stuff. I'm so thankful that I got to work at IDEA and I got to work alongside Claudia because we see the big picture. We know that that's not just a video that just happened. There were so many different parts that were involved and a part of it that most people don't see. And I say this because those that are just making the leap into live streaming for the very first time and saying, hey, I could do this for other people, they're leaving money on the table and they're doing a disservice to themselves because they offer so much more value. Cool? All right, let's see here. Marissa Kelly says that she's going to come back. Activate LA, you're back again. Yay. Right now I'm multi-streaming with Restream.io. And so if you wanted to check that out, go for it. I mean, like I said, it's helpful for me to tell my clients what's going on the back end, how many viewers, all that stuff. It's like one report to rule them all. Lord of the Rings reference right there for you. All right. Let's see here. Mike Alton says, ooh, I did not know about Restream Metrics. Yes. See, and this is very helpful too, because for those of you that are looking to get sponsors, oh, yeah, let's talk about that. Because even coming from the agency side and working with influencers, yes, we would give them product. Yes, we would, financially help them out and whatnot. But we always wanted reports. We wanted to know, okay, great, you did a giveaway. How many people entered, how many people clicked on your link, all of that stuff. Usually, I remember when I was working with the PR team, they were like, oh yeah, we gave product away. And then the digital team, paid and social, and we're like, what are the KPIs? What are the goals? Because we want to make sure that this ambassador program is delivering on results. So having something like Restream that you could shoot back to your sponsors, your media kits, so much that you can do over there. All right, cool. Dean says he didn't know about that either. Data is always important. Oh, let's see here. Claudia says, what do you think is something people don't think about, like bringing in another person in order to not stretch yourself too thin? That's a really good question. In my head, I'm imagining, Claudia, because you work with multiple people, that you're thinking about contractors, other partners that you can bring in. And that's something that I think about too. Right? Because it could be man, you could be a sick copywriter, but if you don't meet deadlines, if you are not coachable as far as getting constructive criticism, or if you're nasty to a client that's giving you feedback on revisions, then that's like a no-no, right? But I for sure I usually do a test round with people. I'd be like, let's work on this first project together to see how it panned out. And usually it's something small. It's not going to be the mega event, right? It's something really small. And then you realize man, this person is absolutely amazing. And then you bring them into the fold, right? You bring them into the plan. And that's the thing is that even my girl, Yifat Cohen, she's blowing up with her live video production services. And she said, Stephanie, do you know anyone that I could hire as a scene switcher? And I was like, well, let me see what's out there. And so she had sent over a job description and I need to get back to her and be like, hey, we need to add some other things to this because there's so much more than just having good internet, right? Even the scene switcher or even the producer and everyone should know how to troubleshoot a live stream like that, and it's simple things. Even sometimes when I'm doing remote video recording and I had the DA, the district attorney of San Diego, and something was happening. I was like, okay, let's see, do you have Dropbox open? Is your email open? Blah, blah, blah. And so when you just know how to do that basic setup, that's what's going to separate yourself from like bare bones basic stuff. All right, let's see. Shout out to Kelly. Oh, Kelly. I need to get you your own sound effect. All right, let's see. Rach says, do you have any tips on mobile live video production with multicams for the best equipment for a backpack setup? One person, what software, laptop, and cams? Yes. Love this. So, Rach, when we did that for Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air, Roger Wakefield, you're going to love this. It was a plumbing, heating, and air company, and it was their 40th anniversary. They wanted to show off like 5 different products and give it away to their customers. So it would be like a water heater, an air conditioner, a bidet, like whatever, right? And that's like 5 different stations. Plus we had a giveaway with like a TV that we were going to call out the winners. That required a lot of cameras, Rach. And when you're just starting out, I would say use what you have or ask the client what they have. If you don't have like the gear already in house, because I was very fortunate in the sense that like my brother had an extra iPad laying around, yay, right? The client themselves, since they used iPads to sign off on service that was done, all of those iOS devices can turn into multi-cameras. And so at that point we had a case that we just stuck onto like a metal ring, like a metal stand, and then that became our tripod. And we were able to move it out like every which way that we wanted. If you message me, like whether it's on Facebook or if you go to lightscameralive.com, if you message me, I'll show you like the whole entire setup that we had for that. In fact, I think I might have it right now because y'all got me like super excited. But I would say that would be gear wise. And then as far as what software to use, you can use Switcher Studio, right? Or you could use Cinemaker, which I'm a big, huge fan of as well because I saw them put that together at an event and it was amazing. So let me show you what I had here. I'm going to switch my screen for you. And this is what I mean, you guys, like you're going to have clients where, they might have to do it mobile. I have like this one person that was asking me, can you do an event on the beach? And I was like, oh, how are we going to do that? Right? So this is what we had. We did Switcher Studio as the actual software. We had iPads, iPad minis, iographer. Kelly Noble Marabella knows iographer. Like you put it in the case. You could put cameras on there. They have shoe mounts to put the mic and an external camera. Right? And then I even put mine on a dolly, a tripod dolly. So depending on like what your event is going to be, there's so much that you can do, but this is everything that I had. Yeah, this is the dolly. And then if you notice in this picture right up here, there's me holding the iPad on a tripod on a dolly, and I would move from one location to the other, and I would switch the scenes from the iPad. Like that was so much fun. Cool. All right, so let's switch the screen over here because we've got other questions that are coming in. All right, so Dean is asking, I'm doing 2 major giveaways in August, but I don't know what format to use, like yours. Advice. It really depends on what your goal is. I feel like that's like my motto. What's your goal? For me, like I used gleam.io, which was fun. Let me pull this up for you guys. LCL, Elgato. Let me show you what happened. Let me put this up over here. Where my template went. Doop. All right, I'm going to share this with you. So, Dean, we used gleam.io, and look at that. We had 4,755 entries. That's bananas. And if you notice the way that I actually set up the campaign, it was you would earn an entry if you did this. You would earn extra entries if you did X, Y, and Z. And this is probably something that I'll use again, even just for the CamLink giveaway, because there's so much that I could promote. Like Goldie Chan was amazing. Like she gave us a shout out on Forbes, or was it Entrepreneur? One of those. And I was like, ah! So that could be another thing that you could put in there. I think that would be a ton of fun. All right, let's see here. I'm going to put this over here and see what happens. Okay. So that was your question. Thank you, Mike Alton. He said, Lights Camera Live, how to set up multi-camera. Yep. Rach says, thank you, love you for this. Yay! Of course, absolutely. Oh, what am I using to make my comments pop up on the screen? It is Ecamm. So let me show you how it actually looks like. I don't know if you guys have ever really seen how Ecamm works. So I'm going to turn on live demo mode. And so now you see how I have all these different windows. All of your comments show up right here. And so when I want to, Roger Wakefield, right? I just click on that button and then it shows up. So it makes it really easy. Claudia says the dolly is genius. But yeah, it makes it super simple. And there's even a setting on the back end where it'll show up for like a good 5 seconds and then it'll magically disappear. So I don't always have to, move around and all that stuff. See, it just went away. Good. No, so having said that, oh man, it's already 2:50. Let's talk about, let me move this over here. Let's announce the winner, yeah? Let me move this. Something happened over here. Okay. So the winner of the the HD60S Plus giveaway, this goes out to Michelle, the Ignited teacher. She teaches students and teachers on how they could help students better understand math. And so she does a lot of live streams helping educators do that online. And I'm super excited that she is going to win this. So let me go ahead and see if I can find her website for you. That way you can... The Ignited teacher. She's absolutely amazing. I'm going to come out of live demo mode and then put this up over here. So yeah, the Ignited teacher won the HD60S Plus, so I'm super excited for you. I'm going to ship this out today, and then we'll go from there. Yeah? Yay! And and definitely, if you're not already on the email list, you still want to stay on there because there's still a cam link that is up for grabs. All right, now, let's take a look at other questions. Amy says, what's your goal? Imprinted on my brain. Yes, I will always ask you that question. What's your goal? This is also very helpful when your friend is venting to you because you want to say, do you just want to vent or do you want me to help you problem solve? Relationship saver. All right, cool. Let's see here. Activate LA is saying with Ecamm, can I put it into my OBS? Yes, you can. You can take Ecamm's virtual cam and put it into OBS if you wanted to. By all means, I think that's totally cool. Depending on your machine, right? Because that's a lot of stuff that's running on there. Let me go ahead and close this out real quick. Okay. What else do we have here? Demetrius says, good luck to everyone who got into the draw. Demetrius, we'll have to do an international one soon, okay? Let's see. Congratulations, Michelle. Yes, Michelle is amazing. I was actually really, I was really happy because I was hoping that it would be someone that actually watches Lights Camera Live. I don't know if you know this, Dean, but the giveaway got so popular, it became viral that other giveaway sites were promoting it. And I was like, oh, I hope it's really someone that, knows the show, right? All right, so let me do something over here real quick. Good. All right, let's see. Mike says, oh my gosh, yes, ha 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 ha, just venting. All right, you guys, that is everything for today. What other questions do you have before I let you go? Because the last thing that I had on here was distribution strategy. This is another thing that you can offer to your clients. Again, thinking at the strategist level. And I smiled because Amy is here and I was like, Amy, if you are live streaming, you better be repurposing that content, right? Turn it into long form content, whether it lives on LinkedIn, your website, always your website, please. And then chop it up into little itty bitty bits into your social media post. Now, for those of you that are asking, Stephanie, what gear are you using for this whole entire show? It is right there. I did it. Yay! kit.co/HeyStephanie. And usually what I do with the show is, with kit.co is I have it by different projects. See, this is another reason why you want to have it by different case studies. Because when someone says to me, we want to do a mobile video production What are your suggestions? Boom, here you go. Here's all the mobile studio setup that you have. Oh, I want to do it for my desk. Boom, here you go. I want to use a green screen. Here's everything that you can use for that. It's being organized that I can probably say that like I always crush that. So that's going to be absolutely amazing. Dean is saying, did I miss your run of show? When will it be out? Okay, Dean. Okay, let's talk about this. Yeah, Dean has been very, very patient with me, and I will give you a sneak peek right now. We've got 5 minutes left, but I could do this for you. So if you want to hold on for a hot second, I will give you a sneak peek of what it's all about. I think I've shown it to you. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. So we're talking about run of show. And the reason why this came about was because I was filming a video for Social Media Examiner. And it was hilarious because on site we were trying to come up with like hooks and teasers, and I was like, man, it has been a super, super long day. Like my brain is completely fried. It would be awesome if I could just hit a button and boom, it automatically auto-generates everything for me, right? So here's a sneak peek at it. And Demetrius, yes, thank you for asking that too. I'm gonna move me over here so that way you can see it. This is my video script maker. And it is everything. It is beautiful. So if you notice over here, what's happening is I have everything plugged in as far as like my showtime, my greeting. Welcome back to name of the show, Lights, Camera, Live. What about your show? Where we shine a spotlight on the best and brightest marketers in the industry. What's my name? What's the show frequency? Blah, 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 blah. Everything that I usually say during a show. If I have a guest, I could check off this box and then it will pull in, and I'm here with Mike Alton. And then I insert his bio. If there's bullet points that I want to talk about, it's already in here. And then closing. Those are like the things, I would say guest bio, bullet points. These two sections are probably the two things that are always going to change, right? Then I go over to Video Script Maker, and this is where the magic happens, is that I have this little ticker box here. And every time I push this box, Dean, it auto-generates a new hook, a new tease, a new question of the day, a new main question, the setup, and all of that stuff. So it just goes boom, boom, boom. And this is going to give me like 50,000 different iterations of how I could open and close my show, right? Then what's fun about this is good. This is good for me because now I could use this in the landing page. But what's nice is that if I like this specific hook, I could copy and paste it over here, which is going to be the actual draft. So the things that I like, I'll put it over here, because then what happens is that the very last tab is my run of show. Now my run of show is going to have the exact hook, opening, all of that stuff that I wanted to have here. And then this start time is actually pulling from the very first tab. And if I wanted to say, well, my hook is going to take me about 30 seconds, I'll change this to 30 seconds, and then it pushes the whole entire run of show so I know how everything is being put together. So this is the Video Script Maker, and this is what Dean has been asking me about for, I think, like the last 2 weeks. It's something that I'm going to be pushing out relatively soon. I'm still testing it out. I have beta testers that are out there that are giving me feedback. Shout out to Kendra, shout out to Amy, Jen, Amanda, and Mike, who have just been diving in there because I really want to know, is this something that you would use? Is this something that you would find very helpful? This is also really amazing if you are filming for clients and you have to script things out because it scripts it all out for you. Don't even have to worry about it, right? Dean says that he has been hitting me up for the last 3 weeks. That is true. I think you kept DMing me on Instagram. I was like, I don't know if I should open this right now. But yeah. All right. So that's that. Demetrius is saying, I read somewhere that you have a book coming out. Yes. Yes. So the Ultimate Social Media Strategy Guide is coming out, Entrepreneur Press, next month, August 25th. That's going to be like my second child. And I can already tell you that the 360 Marketing Squad, Jen, Mike, Amanda, and myself are already planning something fun and amazing that we want all of you to be a part of. It's all of our thinking on paper, and we're looking for, again, another immersive experience just to celebrate that occasion. All right, cool. Marie says, I need this before September. Girl, just hit me up. Now that I've actually shown a quick demo to you and Dean, we can talk about getting this in your hands. That way you can give it a go. And then if there's any issues, you could just customer support to me. Again, I'll have to hand that over to my VA because Mama's got to do stuff. But all right. Let's see. Demetrius is saying Amazon.com link. If you search for Stephanie Liu or Jen Herman or Mike, you'll see it pop up. Cool. And then launch party. Yay. All right, you guys. That has been a full, complete hour. And Brian, you are new. I have never seen you. So amazing. So wonderful to have you here. Did I answer everyone's question? Because this was supposed to be your AMA about the live video producer services and all of that amazing stuff. Thank you, Mike Alton, for putting that out there. Yes. Amazon. That's where the book is. That's where the knowledge is. And I promise you, if you show us your receipt, we'll probably have something amazing for you. Hey, I could probably even throw in the video script maker. What do you think about that, Mike? I think they love it. I think they love it. All right. I'm looking for one, like, if there's any other questions. If not, Mama's going to go ahead and cue the music, and then we'll go from there. So let's see here. I'll put this up. I'm going to give you a little bit more time because I know that there's always a delay. But yeah, go for it. Play some music. Okay, so you do want the video script maker as when you buy the book. We could do that. Dorianne is asking, how do I find the strategist? If you're watching the show, search for social media strategist and then go from there, yeah? My favorite. Yes, that is Doc. We do need an outro scene, yeah? All right, you guys. Thank you so much. This was a power hour. This was a ton of fun. Thank you, Sean Doc Boyd, for hooking it up with the original intro. That was absolutely amazing. People loved it. It was fire. Looking forward to all the other amazing stuff that you do. Again, please follow him. He's absolutely amazing. Shout out to Restream for supporting the show. The book comes out. Congratulations, Michelle. Woo! And stay tuned, because if you're already on the email list, I'll give you details about this. All right? Let's do it, y'all. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.